I'm so sorry this video took so long. This movie came out right around the time when I was about to graduate, so I was kind of stuck in the books at that moment. So without further ado, here we go. Were you slightly confused during his house? What is the apith? What does it do? What does Rial's dream mean? Is the girl their daughter? Why is everyone so mean to Bull and Rial? What do the ghosts represent? What did that ending mean with all the people? What is the movie trying to say? Well, I'm here to help you out. I feel like I finally understand this movie's meaning and all of its symbols, so to break it down, I'm going to use 3 themes. 1, survivor's guilt, where we'll discuss Bull and Rial's cause of guilt, how Bull copes, how Rial copes, and how their coping is related to the apparitions, aka the ghosts. 2, xenophobia, where we'll touch on the problems between asylum seekers and citizens, as well as the 3 teenage boys who harass Rial, and the woman giving bad looks at the window. And 3, the biggest theme, the apith, where we'll talk about the history of the apith, the apparitions, aka the ghosts, the light switching off and the footprints, Evil Eye, the daughter's true story, Rial's dream, the film's title, the fight with the apith, and the final shot in the film with all the people in the house, and how it relates to theme number 1 and 2, and much more. And if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and a comment, it helps so much. And if you want to see more of these, please make sure to subscribe as well. Let's get started. Okay, theme number 1, survivor's guilt. Since this theme is so important to every major moment in the movie, I wanted to briefly go over the definition of survivor's guilt. A mental condition that occurs when a person believes they have done something wrong by surviving a traumatic or tragic event when others did not survive. The 2 main characters in this film are clearly suffering from this specific condition. At the beginning of the film, in an attempt to escape South Sudan, their boat capsizes and their daughter, Nyagak, who's not actually their daughter, but we'll explain that later, dies with several other passengers. Bull and Rial, luckily, are able to survive the accident, hence the survivor's guilt. However, the 2 of them are each dealing with survivor's guilt in a completely different way. Bull is trying to ignore it, while Rial wants to surrender to it. And we see them display their individual forms of coping throughout the film. Bull spends most of his time outside, becoming accustomed to the English lifestyle. Rial spends most of her time inside and is not impressed by Bull's new Peter Crouch song. Bull buys clothes at the store to match the models he sees on the wall. Rial prefers to wear her traditional outfits and holds on to the doll and necklace that belonged to Nyagak. And throughout the film, we see many other differences, like how they eat, where they want to eat, and what language they want to speak. Bull also even has a nightmare about the boat, but tells Rial it was a dream about their wedding. Bull often says to Mark, "We are not leaving," while Rial says to the doctor, "I survived by belonging nowhere." 2 very different but very important quotes that convey how each of them deal with survivor's guilt. Also, once the apith and apparitions start appearing, Bull is terrified of them as they threaten to kill him. Rial is not afraid at all while they persuade her to come back. The key issue here is that Bull and Rial are not dealing with survivor's guilt in the best way for either of them. There's a much better way for them to deal with survivor's guilt that they both need to discover, and they do discover at the end of the film, but we'll completely get into that at the end in theme number 3. So just keep this theme in mind. Okay, theme number 2, xenophobia. Ethnic violence is an ongoing tragedy in South Sudan, which is touched on by Rial when she's speaking with the doctor. This conversation acknowledges a major message in this film, which is that it's important to remember that we're just simply lucky or unlucky to be born where we're born. Some of us are born rich, some of us are born poor, some of us are in danger of violence every day, and some of us are very safe. But there's prejudice that develops from this simple matter of chance. At the start of the film, the detention custody officer states, "You are asylum seekers, not citizens." The film is immediately stating and solidifying that there is a clear difference between asylum seekers and citizens. And as a result, Rial and Bull will not be treated like they belong in their new country. For example, Rial is constantly harassed on the street. Even the 3 boys, who are all of African descent, give her false directions and tell her to go back to Africa. The doctor is polite and tries to relate to Rial, but Rial knows she simply cannot understand her point of view, no matter how hard she tries. Bull is also quietly followed by this security guard who is doing nothing until he saw Bull walk in. Throughout the entire scene, Bull is unnecessarily followed by this security guard. The couple also often get bad looks from their neighbor, which brings me to theme number 3, the apith. So, throughout the film, we are introduced to and taught about an apith, this monstrous thing that appears in the climax of the movie. An apith, also known as a night witch, is a ghostly being that exists in South Sudanese Dinka folklore. Dinka is Bull and Rial's culture and language. The apith possesses an evil eye, which is a look that can inflict injury and misfortune to its victims, quite similarly to how it affects Bull throughout the film. Their supernatural powers only work in the darkness, which is why Bull is only affected when the lights are switched switched off and is safe when the lights are switched on. The Apith can also make its presence known through footprints, similarly to how it does in the film. So clearly the Apith is creating every apparition that Bull and Rial see in this movie. The Apith's evil eye may also relate to the xenophobic eye that neighbors are giving to Bull and Rial. As mentioned before in theme number 1, in this dream sequence from Rial, which I think the Apith caused Rial to have, we learn that Nyagak is not actually Bull and Rial's daughter. She was taken from her mother by Bull and Rial so they could access the bus to reach the boat to escape the country. The fact that they separated a girl from her mother and didn't ensure her survival is a lot of added weight to their survivor's guilt. So basically, the Apith symbolizes the two characters' emotional conflict. It uses scare tactics and threats on Bull, while it uses persuasion and gifts on Rial. We see apparitions of Nyagak whenever the Apith is present. The rope Bull pulls turns into seaweed. We also see apparitions of the other passengers who died on the boat, as well as several other victims of ethnic violence in Sudan. And Nyagak has the strongest presence in their minds. Therefore, she is the one who appears most often and can switch the lights off. It's these real-life demons of survivor's guilt and PTSD that cause people to act out. We as bystanders who are not suffering from these conditions only see the outcome. We have no idea of what it's like, which I think is symbolized so well by Mark's character. He will never understand their issue, nor does he ever fully try to, because he knows he can't. He just simply hopes they will do well. So the title His House has many meanings. It means the physical house belongs to the Apith. It also means their minds are owned by PTSD and survivor's guilt. And it also means the country doesn't feel like home to asylum seekers. Bull and Rial discover the best way to deal with survivor's guilt. Bull faces the Apith. He faces his guilt instead of ignoring it. Rial defeats the Apith. She defeats the demons that she used to surrender to. Together, they learn to move on. Not by ignoring, not by surrendering, but by accepting their past that they will live with forever. Bull soon after says to Mark, "Your ghosts follow you. They live with you. It's when I let them in that I could start to face myself." Rial, around this same time, imagines her dream sequence once again and says, "I have to go home," confirming that she is finally acknowledging that a new country can be her new home. Two great lines to sum up the conclusion of the film and the conclusion to both character arcs. And in the final shot, we see the couple and Nyagak all standing alongside the victims in Sudan. They no longer appear ghoulish or threatening. They appear to be in peace. So this beautiful shot in the end of the film is saying to us, it is no longer his house. In every way, it's our house. Alright, that's my analysis. Please let me know your thoughts and interpretations in the comments below. I would love to discuss. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more, and see you later.